Joe Rogan and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, two absolute legends in one room. We dove deep into their episodes and found the best self-improvement advice that they both provided. They talked a lot about the power of discipline, enthusiasm, and finding your passion. So buckle up, hit that like button, and let's get into it.
Yeah.
Dude, I always say with enthusiasm, you can really move mountains.
Yeah.
Right? You can really move mountains with enthusiasm because it starts with that.
Mike Tyson had a great phrase. He said, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it.
Number 1, workouts and commitment. Intensity in workouts and the commitment required is not for the faint-hearted. They've discussed workout protocols, traveling, and keeping the team motivated. If you're into fitness or just looking for that extra push, this segment is a gold mine.
I try to give them some stuff. Like if you're on the road, just do the push-ups and the body weight routine. Just try. You don't have to do 100. I do 100. I do sets of 20. Do sets of 10, 5, whatever. Just do it.
Yeah.
And just make sure that say if you do like 50 push-ups and 50 body weight squats one day, the next day try to make it 60. Try to get to 60. Try to eventually get to 100. And if you have to do 10 sets of 10, that's pretty easy to do. 10 is not hard. You know, and then that last one, you're like, and eventually you'll get to a point where you could do sets of 20. And it's easy. It's not that hard to do. You like when I do 20, at the end of 20, I could do way more, but I just relax. And then I do the body weight squats. And if you keep doing it, it just conditions your body to be able to do that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a great warm-up, 15 minutes, and you're sweating.
That's right.
Yeah, so we started off with that, and then you go right into all the other stuff. So by that, body's already heated up, you're ready to rock.
And ready to go.
Yeah.
And also, too, I feel like if you, especially for guys like that who are just getting into it and just dipping their toes into it, feeling good, they know they have to do it.
Yeah.
If they're going to add some years to their life, right, and take care of their families. But also, it was cool that you realize that as these guys are doing it, they're not, again, they're not giving up, but also you could see it kind of computing in their head like, okay, 2 steps forward, maybe 1 little step back. You add the math and you do that every day, you're far down that road.
You're far down that road. And that's what I keep telling them. I said, this is just a thing where you got to not slide off. Because the slide off is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Like the discipline is very hard, but the slide off, it's so hard to avoid the slide off. When you're used to eating bad food and fucking around and staying up late and drinking like all these guys do, it's really hard to be disciplined and just to say, no matter what, even if I travel on the road, I got to get workouts in because I can't lose ground.
That's right.
Number 2, discipline in demanding careers. Maintaining discipline in demanding careers like wrestling and comedy isn't a walk in the park. Dwayne and Joe share their experiences, discussing schedules, limitations, and the struggle to keep that discipline intact. But it's not just about physical discipline, it's about that mental resilience in the face of a hectic lifestyle.
Especially like wrestling. I feel like comedy is a lot like wrestling just in terms of the schedule. Because you guys are working at nights.
Yep.
Sometimes twice a night. You're starting at 7:30. You're done by, I don't know, maybe midnight, maybe longer. Right. So it's that kind of lifestyle that where you really got to be disciplined. Were you always disciplined even when you got in comedy full time and you were on the road and doing all that?
I was more disciplined than other comics, but not that disciplined. Not like I am now. I think as I get older, I realize like you only have so much, like your body only has so much energy. And if you're not in shape, your body's going to have less energy. And as you get old, I have so many friends that are my age that look like they're dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know, I'm 56. And at a certain point in time, you realize like, okay, this can't be like a thing you do 3 days a week. This has got to be a thing you do every day. Like my body has to like know for sure it's going to work. And every day, work has got to get done.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't do that, I feel like it's going to slide off. And when I've taken days off and then I get back to it, it's like, I feel way more slide now than I did when I was 20 or 30. It's like the slide is like, you know,
like
it's steeper.
Yes.
It's steeper. It lasts longer. It's harder to get back up there again. Like, okay, stay here. Don't let it slide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is your slide, is it usually come by way like if you catch a fucking cold or something like that?
That
it's
could
usually
happen.
That, right?
Yeah, that could be it. Or too many days of no sleep.
Yeah.
Too many days of no sleep will get me. You know, if I'm just traveling a lot or doing something that's like very intensive and I have to get up in the morning or I have to handle something, family stuff or whatever, if I have to get up early, it's just that wrecks you. That's the one that gets you.
Yeah.
And then you take a day or two off and then you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you got to travel again and, you know, maybe you're going overseas and, you know, then it's a long travel.
It's a whole thing,
yeah.
man. You got to plan out your workouts.
But you just have to do it. If you don't, if you just decide, oh, take a nap. then you won't do it, and then you're going to take the fucking nap later. Let's go.
Yeah,
you got to go. Let's go.
When you land, this is what I like doing. When I travel out of the country and I land, whatever time it is,
right to the gym.
hit the gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the only way I think to avoid like significant jet lag.
Yes.
Number 3, enthusiasm, gratitude, and positivity. These are the secret sauce to a fulfilling life. Dwayne and Joe dive into the importance of scheduling, saying no when they need to, and finding a joy in the present. Joe opens up about his early financial struggles, highlighting the impact of martial arts on his journey. It's all about the mindset shift towards a positive outlook.
You have a fucking insane schedule. I mean, I know a lot of people with insane schedules, but yours might be at the top of the list. You're right up there with anybody. I don't know how you maintain all of the things that you do and still have energy.
Yeah. What I try to do is try to schedule my day as best as I can. And, you know, when you're busy, and all of us are busy in our own way, so I really try to make sure that I'm paying attention to the schedule. I'm really looking at it. And I'm going to take a fine-tooth comb through it and go, not that. Because it's easy just to say, yeah, I'll do it. Oh, this thing is for 10 minutes, Joe. Can you? Yeah, okay, I'll do it. And before you know it, all that shit, it's an hour, and then it's 2 hours and all that. So I really try to make sure that I'm looking at the schedule and try to be smart about the moves these days. And I also learned, man, there's just power in saying no.
Yeah.
No,
you gotta have you time.
Yes.
You time is important. Like you can't, one of the things I always tell everybody, discipline is really important, but also enthusiasm is really important. Like
That's right.
I tell these guys with comedy, if you feel burnt out, take some days off.
Yes.
There's no harm in that. Like you want enthusiasm. There's like something about being enthusiastic with comedy, and I think with a lot of things. Like you want to have that. You don't want it to be a drudgery.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude, I always say with enthusiasm, you can really move mountains.
Yeah.
Right? You can really move mountains with enthusiasm because it starts with that.
Mike Tyson had a great phrase. He said, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. That's real discipline.
Yeah.
Like that's what made Mike Tyson.
Yes.
You know, and the proof is in the result. But that's real. If you could just force yourself into being enthusiastic about everything, even shit you don't want to do, like you got to do hill sprints. You're like, fuck yeah, we're doing these fucking hill sprints.
Fucking get
Let's
after
go.
it. Yes.
Yeah, and then you get excited, and then it becomes something stimulating instead of a drudgery.
You know what it is too? It's that thing where I think like you learn about, especially when it comes to training and that kind of thing, where it's either you look at it like, fuck, this is something I gotta do, or I get to do.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yes,
like
I get
to do it, man.
Yeah.
What a privilege this is.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are like seriously ill and injured, and they can't do it. God, they would wish they'd fucking give anything to be able to do it.
One more time.
Yeah,
That's right.
and we're lucky. We're lucky as shit. Anybody right now that's able-bodied and hears this is lucky as fuck.
Lucky, man.
Just lucky.
Lucky and privileged. I always say that.
Super lucky.
For sure.
And if you can just keep that in your mind, that's the problem. People get just accustomed to whatever they have, and then they want more. They're not satisfied. But gratitude is so important. I know it's one of those hippie crystal fucking wooden beads things that annoys the shit. Because you hear it from the wrong people.
Attitude of gratitude. And,
there's certain things that get co-opted by the word God, I think, is the same way. It's like it's co-opted by some people, and then people have this negative association with it. But I think gratitude is one of those. It is real, and it's really important. And if you could just appreciate your friends and appreciate your life and appreciate people and appreciate what you get to do, you can fucking change your whole tone of existence. You change the frequency you exist on.
Where you vibrate. You can change, man.
You change people around you too, because they get excited by it.
Yeah, that's right.
Before I reveal the golden nugget that Joe Rogan and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson discussed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's get into number 1. Joe and Dwayne were discussing their struggles, and they came across how they found their passions. Joe was reflecting on his shift from a driven mindset to finding enjoyment in the journey, while Dwayne was sharing his own realizations about the importance of enjoying the present moment amidst the pursuit of future goals. We always hear that we have to find our passion, so Joe and Dwayne sharing their stories about how they did it is super inspiring.
I think every kid should do something difficult, whether it's playing chess or whether it's soccer or whether it's wrestling, something that really fucking tests you, because you learn that you can get better at stuff, and you learn that you can overcome all those feelings of weakness that are inside of you.
Yeah. It acts as like a forcing mechanism for discipline.
Yeah.
And to work through that shit. And also, I feel like it's like with you in martial arts and then transitioning over to comedy. I feel like it also, for me, it forces also our kids to find their thing. And even as you get a little older, you know, in your teens and in your early 20s, because dude, in my early 20s, I was still trying to figure out who I was and what I was going to be, and even into my 30s. But I feel like as you're searching for that thing, it's like with me in football. Like, I thought football was my ticket. That was the thing that's going to allow me to. I'm going to buy my parents their first house.
Right.
Because I didn't live in a house until I was 27. I was WWE champion. Was the first fucking house I lived
amazing.
in. It was amazing. So I thought football was a ticket, and then I realized down the road, like, I have to finish this chapter in my life because I don't have that skill set to go on. I could continue to push it and push it and push it, but no. But like I was saying, it forces kids to as well, and older kids as you get into adulthood, to find your thing. Right? Because a lot of times we're in the thing, we think it's the thing, and it's going to be our ticket out, but it's not.
And if you can find one thing, you can find many things.
Yeah, right.
It's like the Miyamoto Musashi quote: "Once you know the way broadly, you can see it in all things." There's some real wisdom in those words, because there's something about finding a pursuit or a passion or something that you truly love that's engaging and challenging, that is exciting for you, and it advances you as a person. And the lessons that you learn in pursuing that thing, you apply to everything in your life.
Everything in life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything in life. There's a great, you probably know it, Bruce Lee quote from Enter the Dragon. Do you remember when he was like one of his students, and he told the kid, it's like a finger pointing away to the moon.
Yeah.
And he slapped him in the head. Don't concentrate on the finger. You're going to lose all that heavenly glory around you.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So back to being present.
Now, before we go, I've got one more question for you. Do you want to see more content revolving around Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Joe Rogan? Or perhaps somebody else like Jordan Peterson, David Goggins, Elon Musk? Let me know your ideas in the comment section below. I really do value your input here, guys, because I want to keep making this content better for you. So, if you want to see more Joe Rogan content, then make sure to click one of the videos on screen now, and I'll see you in the next video.